As hour brought to you by Kia of Puyallup. We've read you this letter a few times this morning from Michael Bennett, Dear World. He begins and goes on to tell the story of what happened to him in Las Vegas the night of the Mayweather-McGregor fight. He was down there on his day off. He was leaving. He was somewhere where there were some gunshots. They ran away from the sound. He is pulled. He is singled out, he says, by a police officer who pointed guns at him for doing nothing more simply than being a black man in the wrong place at the wrong time. One officer orders him to the ground. A second officer ends up putting a knee in his back and handcuffs on his wrists. He says the officer's use of force was unbearable. He feels helpless. He worries whether he's going to be shot and killed. He worries about his kids and his wife. He asks, what did I do? He receives no answer. He is ultimately thrown into the squad car where they realize that, quote, I was not a thug, common criminal, or ordinary black man, but Michael Bennett, a famous professional football player. After confirming my identity, I was released. And he goes on to say the system failed me. I can only imagine what Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, and Charlene Lyles all felt. He says that he is now investigating whether or not there is a legal suit to be filed in Las Vegas with an attorney. Brock, we've been talking about it, and we've had a lot of, I think, really good conversation for the most part with you guys. G. Scott steps in for a number of reasons. One, your connection to the team and Michael and some of the guys, and then also as somebody who lives life in completely different world in some ways than Brock and I both do. I certainly want your opinion. First of all, how did you feel when you read this morning and heard about it? Was today the first time you'd heard about it?
Yeah, today's the first time. I was hurt, man. I'm hurt. I was hurt then, and I'm hurt right now. And when I saw the statement is one thing, right? You see the statement, and then it goes out there, and then you see the comments from people. And people say, oh, where's the proof? And what did he do? And it's always the same thing every single time. And it's like every single day, I have to wake up and I come to work and I have to hold back a lot of these feelings because I'm afraid that if I say something, then I'm considered to be angry. But in fact, we're not angry. We're hurt. And so I saw the statement, read it, and I was in the break room. I mean, in the sports pit, and Tom Wassel came in, and he's sitting there, and he's preparing for his show. And as he's preparing for the show, he pulls up the TMZ deal, and I hadn't seen the TMZ video, and he's playing it, and I'm looking at it next to him, and as he's playing it, hearing that, it gutted me, man. It gutted me because you got to see what happened. And if you've never had that happen before, you don't understand. When you have friends and family and you yourself have gone through that, and you know the pain and the hurt, and you see Michael Bennett in that moment, it ain't about money. It ain't about fame. It ain't about NFL. It's about nothing else but a human being right there being handcuffed and manhandled. Why? Why is Michael Bennett being arrested? That's my question to you and to anybody else. What did he do to get handcuffed and arrested? So then you find out who it is. But the hurt in it is there's so many Michael Bennettts of the world. And we never really, it's almost like they don't get believed. And you don't get believed until they saw video. I never forget the time years ago, my son's uncle actually, he said, well, the Rodney King video, he deserved to get beat like that. I don't care what your past is, man. You don't deserve wrong. And in that situation, you see wrong. So you ask how I feel hurt. And I text with Michael Bennett when I was in the car because I had to leave. I left the station. I left the studio. I had to go sit in my car because I'm hurt. And I text with Michael Bennett and I asked him if he's all right. He's like, man, I'm good, man. I'm glad. I want people to know. I want people to know what's going on out there. And I don't know, man. It's hurtful.
Not really sure what you're supposed to ask after that, G. That's a pretty intense answer. I feels trite to now ask you about how the team handles this.
Let me ask you this, G, because of your relationships and such, right? And go a whole new way than we've gone the last 2 hours. We'll get to see and hear from the Seahawks today. Today is a work day. Today is getting back to work.
Yeah.
Does this galvanize the team?
More than ever. This is Pete Carroll's wheelhouse. I'll tell y'all something about Pete, man. I've been around this team since Pete first walked into the door. When he walked in 2010. This is what he does. Yeah, you guys, we all know him as always compete, and he puts a great team out there, and you've seen the success, and they've won a Super Bowl, and they've gone to back-to-back Super Bowls. But let me tell you what Pete does behind closed doors. This right here, social injustice, this is his wheelhouse. This is why the guys respect Pete. I'm telling you what they say about Pete Carroll and how he is. He doesn't go in the media and let you all know the things that he talks about in some of those 8:30 morning meetings that are so important, and how he kind of helps them and listens to them. Like, there's nothing more important than listening. And I'm telling you right now, whatever your opinion is about Pete Carroll as far as the head coach, but in the NFL, there is no better coach in the NFL than Pete Carroll when it comes to these kind of issues. And will I be waiting for Pete to talk about this? You're right. Because I know he won't let me down and that team down. And as far as the Seahawks coming together, oh yeah, baby. That's what they do. They come together as a team. You got Justin Britz and the rest of the teammates. Oh yeah, they'll come together on this.
Do you think have they known about this themselves? Do you know?
I don't know that for a fact.
Because it makes me wonder whether there'll be, some sort of show of support for him, even beyond what we've already seen, beyond Justin Britt, or as Cliff Averill told us Monday, that Cliff actually says he's been sitting down towards the end of the anthem. Yeah. I didn't realize that. But it makes me wonder whether there will be some sort of a larger show of support for their teammates.
So, G, I'll ask you the same thing. We had an earlier caller. Just from your position. And I texted you this earlier. I said it to you before. Man, You've helped change perspective. Our relationship's unique. We go back and forth about different things, football and other stuff. We don't always see eye to eye,
sure, but
you and I can dialogue here. Ultimately, what do you want to come of this? What does Michael want to come of this? Ultimately, what is the next,
I want more easy. I want more people who maybe you had a certain opinion yesterday. Maybe you just thought like, I just don't understand. I don't see it because I don't feel that way, right? And I get that. I do believe that most people are great people. I believe that most people just like, hey, I don't have anything against somebody with a different skin color.
Yeah.
I get that. But I need for you for 1 second to just say, that's not right. And be able to speak out, that's not right. Yeah. And so when many folks like that start to stand up and say, that's not right, that's when more change will continue to happen.
Thanks, brother. G's on at 10 with Clayton. Good stuff, man.